like books.
Books are great.
Guess we'll read some books.
Anyone can become Lewis Black. That's easy.
You just have to do a lot of stand-up and be angry.
And yell. Lots and lots of yelling.
But to be angry with the right person at the right time, and for the right purpose and in the right way, that is not within everyone's power, and that is not easy. Aristotle.
I believe that's pronounced Aristotes.
Aristotes?
Yes.
Maybe it does it at Abercrombie and Fitch.
Maybe. I don't make a habit of shopping there myself. But maybe Aristotes could tell you. After all, he seems to be named after the product.
We're in the first chapter, folks. Big news. Where does anger come from?
From the anger store, of course.
Well,
Perhaps you can identify with Brooke. Brooke, the mother of 2 preschoolers, loved her husband, Glenn, an up-and-coming attorney. The couple had been married 8 years. Brooke was a certified public accountant, but had chosen to put her career on hold until the children started school.
I think I made a mistake, she told me. I don't think I'm cut out to be a mother. I always wanted children, but now that I've got them, I don't like the way I treat them. And I don't like what they do to me. I don't ever remember being angry or losing my temper before I had children. I always considered myself to be in control of my emotions. But I have to admit, I have often lost it with my children. I hate myself when I do that, and I know it's not good with the children, and I feel your pain, person.
What do you do when you lose it, air quotes, with the children? I inquired.
Different things, she said. Sometimes I yell at them, sometimes I spank them really hard. The other day I picked up Ginger and shook her. That really scared me. I have seen on television just the day before a report of a mother who actually killed her child by shaking her. I don't want to hurt my children. I love them, but I just lose control. I wish Glenn would keep the kids and give me a break, but he is so stressed in his job that he says he doesn't feel like caring for them. I think maybe I should go back to Lurk and let somebody else take care of the children.
I always wanted children, but now that I've got them, I don't like the way I treat them.
Basically.
As I talked further with Brooke, I discovered that she was angry, not only with her children's behavior, but also with Glenn for giving her so little help. She was angry at herself for choosing to be a full-time mom, and ultimately she was angry with God for allowing her to be a mother. He should have known that I wouldn't be able to handle this, she said. By now, Brooke was crying, and to be honest, I felt like crying too, as I remember the hundreds of mothers who have passed through my office over the years, looking for a place to resign.
Pro tip, being angry with God really doesn't help anybody.
No, but acknowledging it is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I guess.
I've never gotten over anything that I had against him without first acknowledging that, yeah, I was angry at God. That is a valid emotion. You can be angry at the way things are, and if you believe in the authority of God, it's hard to not blame him for stuff sometimes. But we will definitely get into that more in another chapter.
Okay. I just want to provide enough commentary. Then there was Bill, who came to my office well dressed, but I noticed his right foot was shoeless. I soon found out why.
I've got to have help, he began. I've known for a long time that my Lewis Black was getting out of control, but Saturday was the last straw. For 15 minutes, I tried to get my lawnmower started. I checked the gas, I checked the oil, I put in a new spark plug, and it still wouldn't start. Finally, I got so exasperated, I stepped back, hauled it off, and kicked the thing. I broke 2 toes and cut a third. Sitting on the steps in pain, I said to myself, that was really stupid.
Hey, at least he didn't try and start it and have it whip back at him and get a giant scar all over his chest.
Okay, so, I bought a lawnmower from a pawn shop. Maybe that wasn't the smartest idea. I think the timing on it was messed up. And as soon as it would spark, it would whip the... Oh, it's funny. It's funny when Daddy gets hurt, right? Left a huge whelp across my chest. And, yeah, I didn't... I might have wanted to kick that lawnmower, too. Moving on. That was really stupid. I'm embarrassed. I can't tell people what really happened. So I've been saying I had an accident with a lawnmower.
That I caused. This is not the first time I lost my temper, he continued. I've said some pretty nasty things to my wife and children in the past. I don't think I've ever physically abused them, but I've come close.
Such a cheerful conversation.
Yeah, it is.
In the course of our conversation, I discovered that Bill was highly educated, holding an MBA degree. He was married with 2 kids, profitably employed, and owned a nice house in the suburbia. Bill was an active member of his church and well respected in the community. Yet Bill had a habit of blowing his cool.
How do you blow a cool? I don't understand. You can blow a hot, you can blow your top. I don't know. Maybe Gary's trying to be young and hip. Thousands of men can readily identify with Bill. Unfortunately, many of them are not as honest as he, and as even fewer of them are willing to reach out for help.
Bill with his broken toes and Brooke with her broken heart are dealing with very different challenges. However, what they hold in common is the human experience of intense anger and their inability to handle it. Both knew that Lewis Black had led them to inappropriate behavior, but neither knew what to do about it. Thus, they suffered physically and emotionally from their destructive responses to anger. And their loved ones were suffering too, by the way.
No. Yeah. Okay, what happens when we get Lewis Black in our lives? People of all ages and social status experience Lewis Black. Brian, a high school student, is angry at his teacher who gave him a D on his report card. Liz, Brian's teacher, is angry with her ex for failing to send the child support checks on time. Maria, an 85-year-old grandmother, is angry with her oldest son, who seldom comes to see her. Her son Vincent is angry in general because he can't find a job and feels rejected by society. Marvin, a pastor, is angry with church leadership who always shoot down his best ideas. Bethany is only 3 years old, but she is angry with her mother, who took away her favorite toy.
But what do we mean by Lewis Black? The dictionary describes Lewis Black as a strong person, passion, or emotion of displeasure. Usually antagonism, excited by a sense of injury or insult. A strong passion or emotion of displeasure, usually antagonism, excited by a sense of injury or insult.
That excited by a sense of injury or insult is important. Comes up later. Although we normally think of anger as an emotion, it is in reality a cluster of emotions involving the body, the mind, and the will. Will who? Smith or Chamberlain?
We don't sit down and say, I think I'll watch some Lewis Black now. He's got a stand-up special that's on right now. Anger is a response to some event or situation in life that causes us irritation, frustration, pain, or other displeasure. Thousands of events and situations have the potential for provoking anger. An elderly relative makes a tactless comment about your child's weight.
Or a YouTube commenter.
YouTube? Yeah, if you've never been angry before, then I think you should log onto YouTube, find a video you like, and just... Yep,
do
that's
that. Exactly.
Very, very effective. Find a video you like and just scroll down. Super effective. Where were we?
An elderly relative makes a tactless comment about your child's weight. The guy behind you on the expressway follows too closely. Your father was always angry about something when you were growing up, and now you have trouble managing your own anger. Anger is felt by feelings of disappointment, hurt, rejection, and embarrassment. It's easier to get angry than it is to admit you're embarrassed.
That's true. Anger pits you against the person, place, or thing that sparked the emotion. It is the opposite of the feeling of love. Anger draws you towards the person. Baby girl.
He means love draws you towards the person. Anger sets you against the person. Wait. But the mind is also active from the very beginning. For example, if Becky asks her husband Tim to mow the lawn while she takes the kids shopping, and she comes home hours later and the grass is still shaggy, she may think, if he cared, he would mow the lawn. He knows how much it means to me. I don't ask for much. What was he doing instead? What he wanted to do. How selfish.
How selfish.
Not always with that whiny tone, but that's just... Our minds tend to go in that whiny tone. But Tim responds inwardly, look at everything else I've been doing. I sealed the deck, took out the garbage, and walked the dog. What does she want?
What does she want?
She wants what you asked her to do.
What do you want?
Difference of expectation.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? Just tell me what you want. Meanwhile, Mark sits simmering in his department's conference room while Jeff, his manager, tells him his numbers are down this quarter, and if he doesn't start producing, the company might have to let him go. It's because I'm over 50, Lewis Black thinks. We're trying to get rid of all the old guys. Jeff is what? About 35? What does he know? I get that all the time. Seriously, at work. Because I'm younger. Mm-hmm. I'm the youngest guy that works in my company by, 10 years, 15 years. And all the guys in the HVAC and maintenance biz are all a little bit older. They've been around for a minute. And whenever I try to tell them, hey, here's why this is happening, you haven't been checking the alarms on your computer and the thing finally broke, without even realizing it, they often feel like I'm condescending towards them and stuff. But I really just want to help. But there's just something about an age difference that, I don't know, it just makes people get defensive.
Mm-hmm. Set in their ways.
Becky, Tim, and Mark are all experiencing strong negative emotions in their minds. But there's more. The body also gets in on that experience of anger. The body's autonomic... Autonomic, yes.
Well, we'll look it up afterwards. I'm sure
the body's atomic nervous system gets the adrenaline flowing. Depending upon your level of anger...
Any or all of the following may happen physically. Your daughter may scream. The adrenal glands release two hormones, epinephrine, or adrenaline, and norepinephrine.
Noradrenaline. These two chemicals seem to give people the arousal, the tenseness, and the excitement of the heat of anger. And in turn, these hormones seem to affect heart rate, blood pressure, lung function, and digestive tract activity.
Pick some less suggestive adjectives. Arousal, the tenseness, the
Karen! So as Mark sits in the conference room listening to his boss, he can feel his face flushing, his stomach churning, his fist clenching. It is these physiological changes that give people the feeling of being overwhelmed by anger and being unable to control it.
Speaking of daughters.
Speaking of temper tantrums.
Kids and tantrums.
Kids and tantrums. Temper tantrums typically appear at the age 2 or 3. Really? I'm going to say citation needed because ours is 6 months and already has no problem throwing the occasional tantrum.
Well, a tantrum is they get really angry about something. Right now she just kind of screams for no reason. Angry or not angry. Could also be tired. You know what? I don't really know.
I mean, if you get tired and you get fussy, that's a tantrum, right?
Is that a tantrum?
Well, yeah, she was in the middle of throwing a fuss, and I put her to sleep, and she was out cold.
I think tantrum qualifies as like kicking, throwing herself on the floor, saying no, 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 and she's not capable of doing that stuff.
Okay, so you don't think a tired fuss is a tantrum?
No, I don't.
Well, let me say, let's change the age. How about me when I get tired? And I do the exact same thing.
You don't throw yourself on the floor and scream.
You maybe haven't seen me really tired.
Anywho, talk about it in the comments. Temper tantrums typically appear, citation needed, at age 2 or 3 and start to decline by age 4. Report journals of pediatrics and family practice.
Up to 83% of all 2 to 4 year olds have occasional tantrums, which include lying on the floor, kicking, screaming, and occasionally holding one's breath. Ah, the old breath holding, the most quiet of all tantrums.
Then the anger spills over into action. Brooke shakes her preschooler, Bethany throws a tantrum, Bill kicks the lawnmower, and Mark returns to his cubicle and starts to compose a furious email. We can't control our bodily reactions. However, we can control our mental and physical responses to anger. We'll look at that in upcoming chapters.
Next time on WeRead.
Why Lewis Black?
Why Lewis Black? Out of all the stand-up comedians, why him?
I like books!
Books are great.
Let's
Guess
go
we'll read some books.